Hi friends, Jamie Forsyth here with Usborne Books and More. I am so excited to share some of my favorite storybooks with you today. First, Usborne just came out with some storybooks, illustrated storybooks from stories that we all love. What I'm going to share with you is Anne of Green Gables. Those of you familiar with the story, I want to share it with your kids but don't think they're quite old enough to read the book yet. This is just a great introduction. They also have things like Cinderella and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So lots of illustrated picture books for your kids to love. If you have not heard of the Billy B. Brown and Hey Jack series, and you have a kid, if you have a kid who will sit still and listen to a story, you need to get these. Jack and Billy are best friends, and they get into trouble and they go on adventures together, and they do a lot of things that that children will encounter, and it really helps to work out the problems. There are some books, or there's some pages with pictures, and there's some pages without pictures, so it's a great introduction to chapter books, and the characters are so lovable, so I highly recommend those. The Usborne Illustrated Storybooks. This one's Hans Christian Andersen, and he does, let me tell you what stories are in here. So, The Princess and the Pea, The Emperor's New Clothes, Thumbelina, Ugly Duckling, Little Mermaid, The Emperor and the Nightingale, The Flying Trunk, The Brave Tin Soldier, Wild Swans, The Little Fir Tree, The Tinderbox, The Snow Queen, and then about Hans Christian Andersen. So, a whole bunch of stories all in one. This is another book where there's not, let me find some pictures. So there's not going to be pictures on every page. So it's a good listening book, but you will see some pictures, and are beautifully written, beautifully illustrated, and I highly recommend any of the Usborne illustrated stories. This is a hilarious story, Blue Whale Blues. So Whale keeps getting so sad for the funniest reasons, and he talks to his friend Penguin. I'll read some of it. Feeling blue, Whale? Asked Penguin. Look at my back, said Whale. I don't know which way it goes. Penguin laughed. Oh, well, he said, don't be blue, it's just upside down. So obviously not a bike, but they make the best of their situation, and they end up having fun and being best buddies together, and it's hilarious. I highly recommend that book. Another book, Bears Don't Read. It's about a bear who finds a book, and he wants to learn more about reading. And so he goes into town, and everybody is scared of him except for this little girl who takes Bear in and teaches him how to read. And it's a great story about friendship and the love of reading. So, Bears Don't Read. Another funny one that tells a lot about perspective is A Tale of Two Beasts. And there's this goes along, and it tells a story about a little girl who finds a beast, and she takes the beast home, and the beast doesn't like her friends, and she's so sad when the beast finally leaves. And then we see the story from the beast side, and he's just minding his own business, and some other beast comes and picks him up and walks him around and shows him to these other friends, and then finally he escapes, and then they come back, and then they're buddies again. So another tale about friendships, and also about seeing something from someone else's perspective, which I think is really helpful for young children who can't always do that easily. So A Tale of Two Beasts. Let's see. Another one that we love is Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge, and it's about a little boy who lives next to an old person's home, and he and one of the ladies, his best friend, Miss Allison, what is her name? Miss Nancy Allison Delacourt Cooper, because she has 4 names just as he does. And so she starts to lose her memories, and he doesn't know what a memory is, so he goes and asks all the other people at the home about what a memory is, and so they tell him all different things. Something makes you sad, something that makes you happy, something as precious as gold. So he gathers all these things and then brings them back to Miss Nancy. And she starts to remember all these things from her past. And it's really heartwarming and it's really lovely. And it's one of my favorite books about friendship again. So, Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge. And last is I Love You Animally. So there's this book, which I will share with you, and then I'll share about another one that just came out just like it. So let's see. So I love you colorfully like a parrot. I love you playfully like a ferret. I love you gracefully like a swan. I love you tenderly like a fawn. So it goes through and gives you all these rhymes and adverbs, which you don't hear a lot of in stories. So that is great. And then at the end, I love you so for you. I love you birdily, buggily, animally. I love you so for you're my family. So really sweet. And Usborne just came out with another one, I love you Americanly. So for any patriots out there, anyone who loves the Animally book, definitely add this one and then the I love you Americanly to your list. I hope we found a story that will help you enhance your story time. Happy reading.